The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. Tomato? Tomorrow? No, today.
Marissa
We're definitely
Tomei.
doing the show today, right now.
Well done.
I'm Nick. Hello. And with me, we have Suris,
How's it going?
and we have Pup,
Hello.
and we have... we have a limited cast. Again. And ironically enough, we might just have more breathing room because most podcasts are 2 to 3 people.
Hold on, Nick. No, you need to give it a positive spin. It's not a limited cast. It's a limited edition cast.
Welcome back to Season 1 of Sunset City. This is a throwback. I'm going to switch my phone off because it's beeping at me.
It really is, right? Like, holy cow.
There
It's
was
a
a,
little
there was a
nostalgia
solid,
moment.
like, 6 months where we just did it with the three of us.
Yeah.
And Wayne still got paid for that.
No,
What
we
do you
didn't.
mean? No, we didn't.
We didn't get any money back then. He didn't
Yeah.
get it.
No,
he got
no.
as much money as you and I got. 0.
You and I remember monetization very differently. We got monetized in like a week.
Did we?
Yeah, we got monetized fast.
Oh.
We were
Why
relevant
would
back
we give
then.
the money to Wayne? No way
We
we,
were-
gave it to Wayne, too.
We totally gave it to Wayne too, man. And he was only gone for like a month. So,
I feel like I'm being... Okay, so I feel like I'm thoroughly desensitized to the sensation of being gaslit by Pup, but
No,
I feel
I
like I'm being gaslit by Pup.
I
I'm te-
absolutely feel like I'm being gaslit by Pup because you have to split it up every month. There's no reasonable way. Well, unless he was... Are you talking about like he was gone a month, so it was only one payment?
it might have been. Actually, no, because, okay, so he didn't come back until episode 20, I think. And he quit at episode 4 like a little baby bitch. So I'm just trying to think. Let's round it off about 17 weeks. There's about 17 weeks in a month, right?
What?
What?
What? What?
It
Hang
worked.
on.
I'm not
Hold
being
on.
gaslit
We're
anymore. I'm
stopping-
being
we're
actively
stopping
given
everything
brain
else.
damage.
Every other topic is stopping right now because I have to hear this. 17 weeks in a month.
Yeah, it was a joke, innit? No, so
Anyway.
okay, my understanding of the chronology of early Sunset City is, like our cast, a little limited because I think it was that the month where we did get monetized was the month Wayne came back conveniently. So I think basically we paid him for the remainder of that month, but I know that Wayne totally got paid for work he didn't do.
Well, let's be real. Like most of us have at this point, except for probably you, Pup. You work your ass off on this show.
I think Suris has been pretty consistently on the show as well.
It's when he's not pooping or sleeping through it, yeah.
Yeah,
hey, the
that is
sleeping
true.
through it didn't really begin until we swapped to Mondays, and my brain had an aneurysm over that.
I don't want to hear from any of you boys. I'm the earliest awake for this show.
Yeah, good for you, man.
It is
Time
good
is-
for me.
Time is
Sort it out.
relative. At the end of the day, 5 p.m. That's pretty early for me. So yeah.
I gotta say, yeah. Like I've been there a couple times when I've like called to wake you up, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like what time is it over there? Like,
This
what's
was
happening?
This was years ago though. Like the last time you had to phone me for the last time you had to phone me for the show was like 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago the last time that I phoned you for the show too.
Yeah, I would have been living in my old student flat for starters, which I haven't lived in for a whole year now. So
Guys, can you believe it? We've been friends for years.
time has gone like fucking
sad.
stink.
We have news.
We do have news.
We're starting a
news.
family. There's a baby.
Right now. No, like brand new Sonic news this hour, brand new Sonic news.
Oh damn, what do we got?
They finally revealed, long after anybody wanted it, the Sonic Origins Plus Collector's Edition.
Fuck,
So games.
I bought the other one thinking it was a collector's. Oh, for God's sake. For God's sake. How many
God
more
bless Sega.
How
God
many more
bless
ways
Sega.
can you monetize these old ass games? All right, where is this? Where can I look at this?
You're gonna be a just completely blown out of the brain paraplegic old man, and they're still gonna be finding new ways to monetize those.
No,
games.
they are. That is the truth though, isn't it? Like ever since those classic games came out, they have been continually re-releasing them in new packs and stuff. It's just this one is a very particularly aggressively monetized pack. That looks kind of fucking cool. I'm looking at it. I'm not buying it. I refuse. I refuse.
All right, so
I will buy Sonic Colors Ultimate Game of the Year Edition before I buy that.
Let me. Let's not get dramatic here. Calm it down.
I want my NFT.
Ready? So, the collector's edition. This is from Pix and Love. This will be going. The pre-orders will be going live September 27th, 4 p.m. UK time. So, like an hour ago, right now, basically.
How much does it cost?
I don't know yet, but no, I do know. It's like I think it's. I don't know what that 79 is. It's the C with the 2 slashes in it.
Oh, that's a euro. That's euro. So it's 79 euros then.
That's a lot of anyway. So included
euros in pounds.
Let's let the audience know what's
68 pounds.
So let's read this off. Sonic Origins Plus for your system of choice. The deluxe box with a transparent sleeve, an exclusive acrylic plate, 96-page book, 4 lithographs, and a Mega Drive style game box. I'm
Real
buying it
quick,
for that box.
I'm hearing you through Pop's mic, Nick. And me through Pop's mic.
Get the old earphones then. Okay.
What's interesting is that Pix and Love Games are the ones putting this out. This isn't just like a standard Sega release. Pix and Love, you're not aware. They did the history of. I think they did the art book. They didn't do the encyclopedia, if I remember right. Dark Horse published that one. But Pix and Love did a couple of really solid Sonic books. I didn't realize. I'm finally on their website. Like I've ordered from them directly before. I didn't realize they publish games as well. That's pretty cool.
Part of the reason why I bought the Plus as a physical thing as well was because it had that little reversible cover with the Mega Drive cover. I'm gonna stick with that. There has to be a point where I draw a line in the sand and say, "Hey, you still haven't made this the best thing it can be. There's only so many bloody versions of it I'm gonna buy." I still haven't forgiven them over the digital deluxe thing.
And yet, in 10 years, you will buy it again.
Now I'm getting this. I want to know what's in that book. I want to know what's in that book.
That's how it works.
And you take pictures of the pages so I too can read it.
I'll probably do a review on it.
Take pictures of the pages, please.
I'll probably
let's be honest. There will be scans online.
Put pages, please.
I'll take them if there's anything. Like, I'll be pissed if there's nothing new in those books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they just took like the gallery from the game and slapped it into a book, that would be a little offensive.
I mean, that's what they did with the first art book that came with the plus physical copy. Except there's a little less in there, but still, it's I don't know, it's kind of cute.
It's not $80 though, or in my case, like God, maybe like $80-$90 for this American.
I think it's closer to 90.
I don't know what euro translates to.
Yeah, that euro is let's see, 79 euro. It's gonna be about 83.70, but it won't go exactly that. So I'd predict about 85.
It is a little bit of a, it is a bit of a on it when like they're still making money off of it, and we all know like this is not as polished as it could be. Like I saw on my Twitter timeline the other day, like somebody's doing a mod that's fixing like over 120 different issues with Origins Plus.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. The mega fix, the plus. Also, we've got new pages for the Sonic Superstars prologue with Fang, which I've just dropped in the background.
I don't understand why these games specifically need us to mod a plus into them.
No, of course
You'd think it'd be very simple.
This is why I fucking love Sonic Frontiers, alright? Is that we're getting 3 free updates that are quite substantial changes and implement things people ask for. Origins, on the other hand, we're implementing 3 new collector's editions that you have to pay for. But we're not fixing the fucking thing. I mean, we're fixing bits of it, but not the whole thing.
I really want to get that Superstars special edition that's only available in the Asian markets.
What, the one with the acrylic stand thing?
Yeah, it's got a statue.
Oh. Because, yeah, in the UK, we're getting an acrylic stand.
Yeah, we are here too.
Okay. I'm kind of blasé about that. I'm not really bothered about the acrylic stand.
I don't know why that's starting to become a thing in collector's editions. Do people like those?
It's one of those things where I initially was like, oh, I better pre-order it so I can get the acrylic stand. And then after a while, I was like, wait a minute, you've already got a Sonic display. It's got action figures and stuff. Is an acrylic stand really going to cut the cheese for you? And I was like, you're right, pup. Just wait. Just wait. You're getting it on Steam anyway, so just wait until you get the physical one on the Switch at a later date. Don't rush to pre-order it just because you saw a shiny thing.
You know, let's see. Like, people are asking, like Zero Chaos is throwing out. Yeah, like, dude, like, we're getting the news, man. Like, we're not going to rush through all of it yet. Show just started. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there. I do have to say it's been a bit confusing in terms of Superstars, in terms of their pre-order bonuses, because we know Amazon Japan has got that cell shaded skin.
That's also in Kroger as well.
See, I've heard that somewhere else, and that did we talk about it last week, or am I just?
We talked about it when it came to Artstar. We were saying how that should be like the goal, but I don't think we talked about it coming to Kroger.
That's such a weird spot. That just feels insane to me.
It feels weird because, like, there's very rarely anything that goes to Kroger that's, like, special or limited edition, because it's not... 9 times out of 10, Kroger's just a standard-ass grocery store.
Not even it's a region-exclusive grocery store.
Maybe they just felt bad for Kroger.
Well, and it's... The weird part about it, though, is that... So where I live, there's a Kroger right near my house. There's a Kroger, right near just about everybody's house. But in this entire area, there is only one city that has a Super Kroger, which is the ones that are closer to Walmart's where they've got all the extra stuff, where you'd expect them to have something like that, maybe. That means that there's one of those, period, in like 100 fucking miles. How does it make any sense to have them do this?
Remember
Has any
when...
one of us... Sorry, go ahead, Pop.
Oh, no, mine was kind of off topic, so you go ahead.
Well, has anyone seen like this confirmation that is coming to Kroger? Like, do we have any evidence of this?
It's on the Kroger website. I've seen it myself.
I'm gonna go check this out right now. I'm gonna go check this out right now.
Sonic Super.
Yeah, I am as well.
What I was gonna say is, does anyone remember when like Infamous Second Son had like a glow in the dark condom as the special edition bonus?
No.
It did. Why are you giving gamers a thing they're not gonna use?
So what comes up first, like outside of news, like the first thing that the Kroger website itself promotes in terms of Sonic the Hedgehog is the same garbage toys that they couldn't sell back when Sonic was still racing in a car. So they have that pullback Sonic car, like the ones from the Transform games.
There's a pack of 8 9-ounce paper cups that say Sonic the Hedgehog on them.
Yeah, I'm looking at Kroger right now, and I'm not seeing shit.
Betty Crocker Sonic the Hedgehog fruit snacks.
It might have been a limited time thing. I think someone said like for one day only, but I'm not.
I'm gonna go to Sonic Stadium. Like they're very good, reliable.
Are those fruit snacks using the exact same image that the cereal's using?
Yeah, dude, it's just the same stock art they always use for Sonic products. It's the same crap.
Oh, Amazon UK. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna look at that.
Okay, so let's see what they say here. So, headline reads: Amazon.co.jp and Kroger's offers comic-style skin. If
No
you skim
freaking
the
way.
Japanese Sonic Superstars website,
Oh man, I hope is that a pre-order exclusive? Does that say if that's a man?
just let me read this first, Pop. Hang on. I'm just trying to see where this Kroger thing here is. There's nothing. Where did they get this? It's like, hey, it's Kroger's Points Rewards Plus, a cross-chain grocery store program. So
Wait.
it's through their rewards?
That's okay. So
But I don't think it's exclusive, is it?
say that's just weird in a lot of ways because the Kroger rewards points are supposed to be just like we spend them on fuel. That's literally all they're ever used for, is just spending on fuel. That's all they've ever been useful for. So that's a very weird.
I did what had
so
to
what
be done.
what did you find?
The comic skins were exclusive to Amazon UK pre-orders, so I pre-ordered the game on Switch via Amazon UK.
Of course.
And I hate pre-ordering things via Amazon because they almost never arrive on the day. But I want those fucking skins, so...
Get a Sonic Superstars character skin pack. Like, I see an ad for it, but it's not showing me anything specifically to the comic skin.
I mean, when it says comic, I think it's
such a weird rollout. Well, I know what they mean.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, I'm just like, they're not giving us any specific anything. They just say you get a skin pack. This is so weird. This is such a stupid rollout.
You mean this is such a Sega thing to do with Sonic now? Like,
yeah.
Let's be honest, this makes no sense, but it's marketing for Sonic, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I prefer the skins that Infamous Second Son gave us in their pre-order package.
Well, hang on. So, Charles Champ, you don't get the Superstars DLC from pre-ordering the game from Kroger. It's a reward you can redeem for 6 or so for points. And the rewards.
Oh, that's sad. That's really sad.
That feels very awkward.
Well, Charles is saying, like, you get 1,000 points for every $40 you spend. And this is a reward for redeeming 1,650 points. So
you gotta fill up
Charles
16
is saying, like,
times.
you don't get partial points either. So to get the skins, you need to spend $80, which is more than the deluxe version of the game. Wow.
Yeah, but that's $80 at a grocery store that you were probably already going to be spending to get groceries.
That's
I guess.
still shit though. Like,
I don't think this is exclusive though. I hope it's not.
Like, I've probably got
I've probably got well over that amount just sitting on my card.
I mean, if you guys want some UK copies, I can just get those for you and ship them out.
No, I gotta review it. I appreciate it though.
But
So I'm gonna have to get
right.
this early. I'm not gonna want to spend more money on it. Like once I get it, like this just. I'm a liar though. Like I was
I'm
looking at the
someone who
Origins
will
one.
usually get one on Steam and one on Switch, basically. So I've got one on the go and one that I can mod.
I do think there'll be like a special edition next year if they keep doing this crap with the Plus.
Pup, I have a question.
What's up?
At a certain point, is it not more cost effective to just get a Steam Deck as opposed to buying every game twice? Just buying the console that lets you play the modded PC games, but on the go.
I mean, eventually, yeah, but I just don't have that money on hand.
That's fair.
Well, it's all dumb. It's all stupid, but the game looks fun, so hope the game itself is fun. But yeah, that's still a while away. What's not a while away, and I didn't know if this would be a fun thing to kind of chat about. Oh, actually, let's wait a little bit.
I was thinking before that we could talk
about
about like the Superstars animation and stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree. I was gonna say while we're still on Superstars, I almost forgot that came out, which is a shame because that was easily the best animated short that they've produced so far.
I still prefer the Knuckles one.
I think I prefer the fight with Metal Sonic.
Well, I'm not saying like if it's like a better quality overall in terms of narrative or anything else. Like I'm saying specifically the animation was really, really detailed for this one.
Oh, it was pretty. I don't know if I noticed an upgrade, but I noticed it was like another one that was sort of in the zone of the Origins animations, which I really, really liked.
Yeah, no, all of them have been beautiful. Just I was just noticing like very, very meticulous work done with this one, which I think is hilarious because like everyone was kind of giving the Superstars opening a lot of shit for what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, yeah, Powerhouse just came in and said like, let's just make this ridiculously elaborate and beautiful.
Well, I saw people saying like, why, if they could do this, why couldn't they do the intro? I was like, probably because they're doing this.
Yeah,
they're probably busy on this. Yeah.
You have a limited animation budget. You have a limited amount of money you can spend on labor in general. People, so like, if you're gonna spend that money somewhere, this is definitely a nice where for it to go.
Yeah, a 5-minute short versus a 30-second opening. Like I think, you know, and even then, I still think the animation on the opening is nice enough. You know, like it's obviously like the difference in the quality between that animation and this new animation is obviously kind of night and day. But like. It's fine for what it is, you know. It's good for what it is, if anything. Like, I think in the realm of like animated shorts and stuff, Sonic has produced some top of the line stuff, which is crazy considering like animation is not generally treated as a priority actually in the games.
Well,
no, it's not. Sorry, go ahead, Suris.
Especially since if you look at some of the older like animated Sonic projects, things like Sonic X, animation quality even outside of the games has never been really that prioritized until recently.
I mean, Prime looked good, Boom looked good considering like the kind of show it was.
So when I'm thinking like 3D animation, there's a bit of a give there because you can have a character, you know, on model and then stretch it around. But I'm thinking more like things that they've done either traditional cell animation with or the more hybrid animation they've been using for the recent shorts. Anything that like a hand had to go pencil to paper for, they've never dumped a whole budget into, really. But seeing some of that recently has been nice.
Yeah. Because I recently did like a ranking of every Sonic short film. Basically, so that includes like the new one, Sonic Mania Adventures and stuff like that. But I also included things like Man of the Year from Sonic Jam, which I thought was really beautifully animated. The Sonic and Chip special shorts from Sonic Unleashed, Night of the Werehog, of course. Like those were top of the line animations as well. Like I find it interesting, like how these animations demonstrate how much amazing stuff can be done presentation-wise for this franchise, and how the games so often just kind of ignore that. Which is why I kind of say, like, I still, as happy as I am with Sonic Superstars' art style in-game, I'm still hoping we can get that hand-drawn one somewhere down the line. But at the same time, they've worked obviously very hard to get this whole gameplay engine up and running with these 3D models and stuff. So, again, I don't want to encourage Sega to once again throw the baby out with the bathwater, but maybe do some cell shading for it or something. But yeah, I think, with everything Tyson Hess has achieved and everything these shorts have achieved, we should really be aiming for the games to look like those animated shorts. If you want to unify and homogenize Sonic, these are the ones to look at, I think, rather than what you'd see on a birthday card.
Rather than doing the, like, aha, we dropped a bunch of Unity assets into a bin so it looks realistic and purdy.
Well, yeah, but that is just for now a Sonic Frontiers specific issue, isn't it? Like,
it's a Sonic Frontiers specific issue, but we have had that confirmation that, like, this is the first step for the next bit of the franchise.
Sure, but they're not necessarily talking about the art style there. Hopefully not. But
I would hope not.
What I'm referring to is, like, the Sonic you see on merchandise and birthday cards and stuff has slowly but surely bled his way into the games and stuff, and it's caused quite a lot of debate about should Sonic change his design and stuff. I think the goal should be replicating what Powerhouse Animation are doing, or what Tyson Hess has done with, the Team Sonic Racing Overdrive or the Chow in Space short, replicating that using these 3D models, I think, should be the end goal of Sonic graphical design. But at the same time, obviously, I'm still fine with if they want to go for a more Pixar-y look too. As long as it looks good, and I don't hate, like, Sonic's character model or anything like that in these games. I don't pay that much attention to these renders. I just see it, I'm like, oh, new Sonic, cool. But yeah, like, I think it's why I'm so excited for these skins, is just, that's what I want. That's what I've been wanting.
No,
I would prefer them to move away from just the homogenized look of Sonic. I understand that's why they're doing it, but I said in a recent video that's coming out pretty soon, maybe later today, if the sponsor approves it fast enough. Spoilers, it's Raid. I'm sorry, boys got to get paid, but like Sonic at its core, there's a fluidity to his design that allows for some creative leeway, I feel. And that static image that we've had for as long as we have, it does get a bit tiresome. So I understand why, like, corporate brand, that's how that goes. But I hope we get to see more creative stretching. Maybe classic is where they do it. Like, maybe each one of these games they come out with, they try something a little different. Maybe it look different from this. Superstars looks different. I don't think it's throwing the baby out of the bathwater. Like, I don't know what their gameplay engine is specifically, but, like, as long as the gameplay's down, you can get a little creative with the general art style. And sure. I hope they continue to keep playing with it. That's why I didn't mind the opening for Superstars, because even if it doesn't have, like, the frames of the other animations, like, it's clearly a different art style. They're clearly doing something different. And yeah, like, I don't love it as much as the Tyson Hess shorts, but I could still tell it's a different thing with its own perks and its own values. I still think it was great for what it is.
It's one of those things different. Where, like, for me, I'd be happy for every different Sonic game to have a different art style that meets the demands of that game and its tone. Like, I'd be completely fine. It's like comic books, It's not like Steve Ditko illustrated every Spider-Man comic and so on and so forth. His style fit those very Twilight Zone-y stories of the early years. Ramita's fit the more soapy art style, etc., so it goes. So I'd be more than okay to have, every Sonic game have its own art style that fits the bill. At the same time, I think if you're going to homogenize it, classic Sonic, I think it would be amazing if they could get gameplay looking as close to the Powerhouse animations as possible. And for modern Sonic, get it as close to Yuakawa as possible. And then I feel like you've got the things you were always kind of advertising but never thought you could truly achieve, which you definitely can now. It's been proven by fans and mods and just other animation studios and such, you know?
Something very like Sonic and the Fallen Star-ish.
Well, yeah, but like what I was mainly referring to is like, for example, the Yuakawa art style. It is possible to achieve that in 3D because there's that fan mod that and does it perfectly. So that's what I'm kind of thinking is like, I would like it if, you know, what we could see on those lunchboxes is more like Yuakawa style stuff, and what we could see in the games is more like Yuakawa style stuff. That's just a personal preference from myself. The other avenue is I think it's about time they might, if they're going to commit to these things looking 3D and Pixar and stuff, it's about time we got the new big mainline modern Sonic game actually looking like a Masa Animation Planet animation.
Yeah, as right now, it very much feels like their goal is a combination of keep a Sonic render they've been using for 15 years, and also if especially with like dropping all the Unity assets they did into Frontiers, their goal has largely been, hey, this Sonic kind of looks like he fits in with these realistic things. This should work. It's like it's a very budget approach.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Frontiers, as we've said, $3 and a packet of chips. Is of that.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that's very noticeable, especially when you look at Superstars. It is a little more stylized.
Oh yeah, no, I remember on the day Superstars got announced, I put out a little tweet saying there is no reason modern Sonic games cannot have art direction this good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. That's my problem with the art direction of Frontiers. None of it, like, as much as like you have a problem with like Sonic's design in Lost World, I have that same problem with him in Frontiers. This is the exact same model with like the only tweaks are like his quill length or something like that. But like it's just there's no consistency with it. Like they're so obsessed with keeping him on model, but damned be the rest of the project surrounding that model.
That is a thing
I would also be much more willing to accept the environment design in Sonic Frontiers if it actually succeeded at the realism it was going for. But you can't do realism and have things popping in and out and have leaves on the trees look pixelated until you walk up to them, lighting clipping through Sonic's tummy making him look like a nightlight, etc., etc. I could accept Frontiers' realistic art style if it looked good, but it doesn't.
That is one of the things that strikes me so, and maybe I'm just not keyed into the right parts of Sonic Twitter, but I have noticed that there's always nitpicking about tiny details, and it's not, like you said, it's almost 9 times out of 10 about Sonic's model. But then very, very rarely do I see a lot of discussion about environmental design or about the overall way that Sonic does or doesn't clash with the world he's in. There was a brief time where I saw some apologetics for the look of Sonic Forces, where people were like, "Hey, this game could have been great. Look at these screenshots I've gotten from the game with the in-game engine."
I think Forces looks pretty nice. I think the art style of that overall is fine. It's kind of that nice middle ground between like the sort of the urban textured environments and the sort of cartoony look. It's one of those things where I think Lost World goes too far in one direction, Frontiers goes too far in the other.
That model was made for Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah.
He looks great in that game.
In Unleashed,
and that has realistic and more stylized design in there.
Unleashed
like it's possible.
Gorgeous.
Like, you can do all of it. You can do all of it. You can make realistic like locations. You can make more traditional classic Sonic locations. Like you just have to design everything in mind together and it looks fine. But we're still using the Sonic they made for Unleashed. And they didn't design the rest of these worlds in that same fashion. So yeah. And people are whining. Yeah, and like I saw Evan Stanley's name on there. That's what drives me crazy. Not to derail too hard, but like that's why I go crazy when like I see people whining about Evan Stanley's art style. It's like, yeah, but she's drawing the whole thing and it looks fine all together. Nothing jarring.
Well,
Stop ripping on the people that are bringing good to Sonic art. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I just found it so interesting how like a lot of the same people that complain about the homogenization of would immediately call out Evan Stanley for going off model, and it's like, what the fuck do you want? You know?
And even then, like they still have to, follow Sega guidelines pretty strictly. And I did that again, not to spoil my own video too much, but I mean it's out there. Like if anyone's paying attention, like Richard Elson had to redo a little bit of his cover. Like they went out of their way to bring in like one of the most iconic Sonic artists ever from Fleetway Sonic, and they still didn't want the art the way he presented it because it wasn't in line with their current Sonic stylings. Like he only ended up having to fix Tails. Exactly.
It's meant to be a throwback. Like that would be like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Sonic Generations, but classic Sonic has to have green eyes. Like
Yeah.
It's almost like you get a bunch of creators in there and then you just try to make Sonic as consistent as possible without any kind of stylization change or anything.
That's the thing is, like, I think, again, as I've said, the people putting the restrictions on Sonic that are far more restrictive than pretty much any other fictional character I've ever seen are the ones that need to go. And if that's Takeshi Iizuka, then so be it, you know, like, because, like, fucking Batman didn't get to where he is today by just resembling the original Bob Kane sketch, you know? I mean, fuck no, did he? That guy was wearing red. But okay, like, Batman didn't get to where he is today by just having one singular art style. Neither did Superman, neither did Spider-Man, neither did Mickey Mouse, you know? That dude's appearance has changed over the years.
I think it's the obsession with Sonic as brand as opposed to Sonic as game or Sonic as character. And it's a thing that we've seen for a decently long time now. Sonic is a recognizable brand to Sega, but he doesn't get the budget, he doesn't get the fanfare, and he doesn't get the polish that most other franchises get when they're trying to focus really hard on this is the character that represents our brand. It's like Sega used to view themselves as the brand, and Sonic was the representative that needed to be taken care of a lot for the brand.
Yeah,
but now
Sonic is
the brand.
And the thing, like, I say the same about, like, characterization. There are things about Sonic that do need to change, and I made the little hot take last night of saying that I think everything movie Sonic changed for Sonic's characterization was a necessary change for making him a better character overall. And I did get a response from, I think it was Positive Booms, and it was a perfectly fine response, just saying that is how Sonic is intended to be, though, from the very beginning. But my response there was kind of, he was a mascot, but when you're doing these narrative-driven things, like comic books and movies and stuff like that, it's not enough to just have this guy be the be-all and end-all, the best guy ever. You know, when you got a mascot, fine, he's a supermodel, he's a babe, he's the most rich man in the world, it's brilliant. Fine, we love him. But when he's in narrative media, it's better for him to have weaknesses, insecurities, things that actually make him worth rooting for, because if the man knows he always wins, there's nothing to root for. He's rooting for himself.
Well, and you can have, like, other media has shown that you can have flat characters that get very, very little growth throughout their arcs. However, they can still be compelling and have their own flaws. You look at characters like Goku and Luffy and, like, a lot of shonen characters, right?
Yeah, and
they are these.
A static character is rarely always static as well.
But, like, that's Sonic and Sonic X. Like, that's mostly Sonic in most of his cartoons. He's the consistent same thing. He's not any different from the beginning of SatAM to the end of SatAM. He's not any different from Adventures or Sonic X. He's that same character, start to finish.
Yeah, I think that's more kind of in line with kind of like the TV format of, like, say, The Simpsons and stuff like that. Is, you know, Homer will learn a lesson, but it will get reset by the end of the episode. That I still wouldn't necessarily call an outright static character, if you get me. The thing with Sonic and a lot of stuff these days is that he is just the center of the universe, and I think that's just not good character writing. You could see it on those Fast Friends Forever bios. Like, you look at Sonic's bio. Sonic is great. Look at Amy's bio. Amy thinks Sonic is great. Look at Tails' bio. Tails thinks Sonic is great. That's all it is. It all revolves around him. I think what the Sonic movies did is 1,000 times better, where Sonic is not a messianic figure. He's a kid in way over his head.
Well, that's what me and Nick are saying though, is that there are ways you can make characters where they are static, not they learn a lesson near the end of the episode, then it gets reset at the end, not in that very sitcom-y way, but in a very, if you look at the way the characters presented in episode 1 and then look at the way they're presented in, you know, the final season of the show, whether it be Set AM, whether it be X, that Sonic, it's not that he hasn't fundamentally changed, it's that he simply hasn't changed. Characters around him have changed. Characters around him have gotten better or gotten worse or learned lessons or become less gullible. But Sonic, he doesn't move. Now, granted, in the movies, Sonic does have to have changes because the movies are billing themselves as more origin story. So, like, this is Sonic learning to be the Sonic that we know today. The biggest problem you run into isn't, is Sonic static or is he a character with an arc? The biggest problem you run into is Sonic flawed or is Sonic perfect? IDW kind of does this decently, where, you know, Sonic will end up creating the problem. He will end up creating issues that will lead to things like the metal virus happening, will lead to things like Eggman getting his memories back. He'll create these issues for himself because he's got his own set of principles that backfire. This is the same thing that happens in Dragon Ball Z. It ends up working out that Vegeta joins the group, but like Goku letting Vegeta live was a stupid decision from front to back, and he did it for selfish reasons.
It is something that they have played up in like external media, like obviously IDW. We've got, you know, Sonic Prime really plays that up as well, is that, you know, he acts before he thinks. But I find it's not present enough in the games still. I like Frontiers as writing, but we don't pay any attention to the fact that Sonic really screwed up in this game.
Well, I mean, we're talking. I think that's a separate conversation from like the flat character thing, and I think that's a separate conversation, but versus like movie Sonic and all that. I think the only example we were trying to give in terms of flat characters, like it can work because we listed Sonic X, like Sat AM, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. These are very, very, very different shows from one another. They're entirely different beasts, but Sonic is this static, consistent thing. But the difference there versus like right now, and like Dalek, yes, I know Dark Sonic scene happened, but it was like 2 seconds, and he just reverted back to default. That's all he did. Like he just was Sonic again. Like nothing really changed about him.
Eggman was disappointed in him, so the scene had to end.
Yeah, but like, and like, not, and that's not to mention that and saying like to discredit movie Sonic or anything. I like that we have a proper teenage character who needs to grow into a hero. That fits that narrative, and it's still in the spirit of this character we know and love, because that, yeah, like this would make Sonic this makes sense for an inexperienced version of the character, and I like seeing that growth. And even Prime, even though people don't like that characterization as much for this or that because it's not consistent with canon, I think it works for the narrative they're telling. Not saying it's perfect, as we have gone on about for many hours on this show.
Ad nauseum.
The P word.
Ad nauseum. I think, like, and Pup, like, if you don't mind me saying, like, I think, like, the problem you and I have currently with Sonic, and I've come to terms with it in terms of, like, this is, like, a grown-up Sonic, even if they're not saying that outright in the canon. Like, this is a Sonic who has experienced all this stuff, and that's, you know, that's helped him become the character he is right now, far more mature, far more grounded, far more reasonable. But the problem is that's just sanded off so many edges for what made him such a charming character to begin with, and nowadays it's just kind of whatever. Like, he
just kind of bland.
Yeah, and it kind of makes, I see so many people, like, when it comes to the Freedom Fighters, like, argue, like, why do we need the Freedom Fighters when we have other characters taking their place? I'm like, yeah, but like, Sonic is now taking the place of all those other characters that are already there.
Yeah,
just kind of bland. It's just bland.
My thing with, just the current interpretation of Sonic, it's just that he's so self-certain at all times. The guy does not have an insecure bone in his body. and he just doesn't feel like a person. He feels like an idealized thing, like Superman if the writers had no restraint with Superman as a character. Like what people think Superman is, just this guy who's endlessly optimistic and endlessly in his own principles, never questioning anything ever. That's just not an interesting character. And I think the excuse I hear is it's how that influences people around him. And like that works only so much though,
There's ways to do the character influence everybody around you, like basically all of shonen does, without it being bad or bland, without it making your character feel sterile. And that's the issue. Like Game Sonic, I think it's just that he feels sterile, right?
Yeah, the thing is also like, on like the Fast Friends Forever bio, it's like even Sonic's enemies respect him. He inspires everyone that's around him. And it's like, it reminds me of Blaze's story in Sonic Rush, where she's like, can everyone shut the fuck up about Sonic? And she grows to hate him because everyone just talks about how great this guy is. And I'm like, I'm Blaze now. Like, you've turned me into Blaze. Like, you can't be the world's greatest helicopter pilot and the world's greatest Olympic swimmer, You can't have it all, Because otherwise, that's the way a 13-year-old writes their own self-insert character, not the way a professional writes a mascot character,
Professionals have standards.
Professionals do have standards. I don't mind if they want to mature him up a little bit, but like, I don't know.
It's a delicate balance, right? It's always a delicate balance. Like that's the problem here, because we've argued like we're gonna sound a little hypocritical here, and I know a lot of Sonic fans will, in terms of like we want to see growth, we want to see progression, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, being a teenager means growing up. And if he does grow up, those edges are going to be softened a little bit. So it's like, well, which one do you want? Do you want to be sassy and never learn his lesson? Or do you want him to grow and mature and then be a little bit boring? But I think there is always a fine... I do think there is always a fine line
have it be
to
like,
be had there.
Tails is like, you're going so fast, you're going to set off the nuclear warhead. And he just looks at him like, the laws of speed are mine. And then like he goes anti-hero mode.
Fantastic.
The
characters are. I mean, like I'm a grown ass man, and I still make same stupid mistakes. I'm still me. I would just like to see a little less of a. And I do. You see subtle bits of it sometimes.
You can
like
mature
in
up
some
Sonic
of the
and have him slip into old habits. Like
yeah.
Okay, so I know it's a punchline with a lot of people, but Unleashed for me really gets Sonic right on a certain level. In that. Yes, we do have a mature Sonic throughout that story, but it's because cracking wise and acting cocky towards Eggman during the first battle caused all of this. He let his guard down for a second, got the Chaos Emeralds knocked out of him, and then from there he goes Big Brother mode to Chip, basically. And that was kind of a means of getting that Big Brother dynamic back with a Tails that's supposed to be kind of grown up as well now. So it's like Chip is now the new kid on the block. I really like Sonic Unleashed's characterization from the perspective that we were given a more mature Sonic, but we were given a reason for a more mature Sonic. He has his own mini arc. At first, he's like, sorry, Eggman, gotta break all your toys now. Then afterwards, he's like, shit, we gotta put this planet back together.
Like,
I need to play through the game proper, but like when I first played in 2008, I thought he was a boring fucking character in that game. I thought it was super boring.
Sonic or Chip?
Sonic. But again, like I've not beaten it. But like I was just like I got to the point where it's just like, well, Sonic, no, you can turn into a werehog and nothing's gonna affect you because you're just that good. I'm like, oh, fuck off. So bored. I'm bored.
There is power friendship stuff in that regard.
Yeah. Again, like I'm not gonna judge the game right now. Like I'm just going off like first impressions from years ago. I gotta say though, like, and I don't think people give this enough credit. I think IDW has gotten a bit boring, especially after the metal virus. But like I do love that we still have people that, even if they're following Sega's guidelines, Cricket, stop. I'm on the show.
Goodness gracious.
But even if they're following Sega's guidelines, then they still like do interesting things. Like I said during the metal virus, like it really takes that hero that's always right and like, okay, if Sonic has to be that, let's look at the negative side of that. And they still Flynn still did a clever job of being like, I hate that people lost the lost the point of this while reading Metal Fires, because they're like, well, he should have turned. I'm like, no, he shouldn't, because he caused this, and the narrative has to revolve around him learning to fix these problems. Like, that's the only way that his philosophy can be redeemed. It's still flawed, but it is still showing that he works his ass off to follow that philosophy through. And I appreciated that. And also, like, nowadays the stories are a little bit boring, but like he's still like really charming and kind of sassy. Like, they did that Endless Summer one,
I read
and he
that.
just says this line, and he's like, Jet says something to him, and he's like, dude, I'm all vibes. I'm like, yeah, that kind of is like modern Sonic. Like, he's just kind of chilled out. He's a bit sassy, like just flat out refuses to play any of the water games, just sits there stubbornly on the beach like a brat, which was hilarious.
I mean, also, like, I doubt that you're gonna agree with me about like Unleashed being a good example of characterization, because I think you and I have different kind of definitions of what kind of makes for a more boring Sonic in a way.
Sure.
I genuinely am completely fine with if they want to mature him up for a story or two, provided that he still has kind of, he doesn't immediately assume and know he's going to win. You know, I don't like this whole thing of he knows he's going to win and he wins and he learns nothing. Like, that is lame to me.
I kind of like in early IDW when they had the throwbacks to Secret Rings and Unleashed after Sonic got his infection at the very beginning, and he was like having to rationalize to himself, I've gotten out of similar things before, I should be able to manage this. Like, I like that, because it's that self-confidence that Sonic always has, but is treated more like a poison and less like a redeeming character trait when you're seeing him have to go like, look at all these times I've done this. This should work, I believe.
There are so many different ways you can do it as well. Like, like, if you ask me still, even then, like, the Unleashed characterization, Frontiers characterization, while I think they were a big improvement on what we were getting during like the Lost World and Forces kind of run, I still think there is a middle ground to be had where Sonic is a witty fella. But, you know, there's so many different ways you can interpret it as well. Like, I like the what Boom did with Sonic's characterization, where he thinks he's incredibly cool, but in actuality he's a massive dork. I actually really like that depiction of Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too different from Sad AM Sonic either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
the
okay
whole
with
thing
all
of
that.
with Boom, like, no one else thinks Sonic is as cool as he thinks he does.
Yeah, they really laid into that harder than those old ones did. Like, they whether or not you agree with like the characterizations of those versions of the characters, like they had a vision in mind with that show, and I think they executed as well as they could have. It's a really funny show.
Yeah, it follows through very, very well with what it's trying to do, which is good. It's better than having I don't know how many times we've said it on this show, but the Sonic where we're not 100% certain what they're gonna do with him, and not in a good way for the mainline games.
Yeah,
It's having a consistent vision and following through with it versus I don't know what you guys are trying to do because you're very sterile, but also you make bad decisions.
Well,
it's a very weird dynamic to have to deal with as a consumer,
I suppose. I notice we are once again in a big conversation about Sonic's characterization.
Imagine that.
Oh man.
Well, we can talk about Trio of Trouble some more.
I was gonna say, like, we didn't even kind of touch on the animation directly. What did you guys feel about it overall?
I thought it was really interesting. I liked the it seemed almost like Fang was having a nightmare during that. I liked the sequence with Amy, just like, this is how somebody sees Amy when you're at the wrong end of the hammer.
He was having a nightmare though.
Yeah, there's no seemed. He was.
Okay, so his thing with the battery was just him going, I know what happens when I reverse this battery now, or it seemed like it was either him reliving a bad past experience and so he knew what the battery did, or he was having a nightmare about it because he knew what happened when you swapped the battery around.
That's an idea that came to him in a dream, I guess, like you'd always say. But
yeah.
What I got from this was, again, even in this little 5-minute short, which is obviously completely silent, there's still lots of cool characterization moments as well. Like, I like the trio we've got between Dr. Robotnik, Fang the Hunter, and Trip the Sungazer Lizard. Now confirmed to be that.
Sungazer?
Yeah, she's a sungazer. You know some stuff about that? You're into your little lizards?
Well, I didn't even realize I didn't know they had a specific species. I just heard that she was a lizard.
She's a sungazer, and apparently,
I mean, that makes sense.
The armor design is like the armor that's on the lizard, so I guess maybe that is just her skin.
Maybe not. I thought she might be a horny toad, but yeah, no, that's a good choice. That's a really good choice. That's awesome.
But I like that we got a bit of a dynamic that's going on here, because Dr. Robotnik clearly doesn't give a fuck about Fang and Trip. Like, he's happily just, drawing a cow while they're fighting against a massive snake. And they're clearly a bit more competent than he is in that regard, because he's just looking at pictures while, they're in heavy combat. He's got no regard for their safety, no regard for the nature around him. And I like the fact that Trip clearly feels some kind of connection with the nature around her. She's sympathetic for the flower that gets trampled by Robotnik. She's sympathetic for the snake that gets defeated by Fang. But I also get the sense that Fang isn't truly evil either. I get the feeling he's a guy that's out of his depth. Like, and you can see it on, his facial animations. Like, this ain't an evil guy,
I feel like we're gonna have that basic normal Sonic moment we do anytime there's a new character introduced who's in league with Eggman. I think they're showing us the early signs that Trip is not going to stay with Eggman. There's going to be a come to Jesus moment here where they're just like, actually this guy's kind of a jerk. I think I like Sonic more.
I mean, we've also seen, on the title screen, a lot of people have speculated that there's room for another character. I wouldn't mind betting that once the game is over, you'll see Trip up in that top right corner. Yeah,
the surprising thing is not whether or not Trip's going to be a good guy. It's very clear, she's not. And I don't think they've ever made that a big surprising thing. What was interesting to me about this, outside of the snake being from old promotional art, which was kind of cool, it does make me question, how do reptiles actually work in this world? Because that was a lizard there and that's a snake. Whatever. But the surprising thing about Trip was the mural. We do have silly classic Sonic stylings as usual, but this little animation showed that there's still room to expand on lore, which is pretty awesome. And clearly Trip is involved in some capacity in terms of the Chaos Emeralds.
Mm-hmm. Trip is in.
So that's pretty cool.
I mean,
they're perfect.
I think what we were seeing on that mural as well was there's the different Chaos Emerald abilities and how they'll affect Trip. Maybe Trip is the early sort of I don't know, experimentation, the test subject of the Chaos Emeralds, maybe. And
maybe her tribe's the one that unlocks these powers out of the emeralds, and that's how Sonic has learned to utilize them.
Maybe.
In ways, they have to explain why suddenly the Chaos Emeralds can do powers they've never done before.
Yeah, perhaps that's what that is, but I guess you'd also have to explain why they went back as well. But we're also seeing, going back to just turning super,
Oh yeah, I'm sure he can still turn super, but that's a good point, right?
Yeah, because
that's the Dragon Ball Super problem. It's where did all these new powers come from? Where'd they go?
Yeah, because this takes place before Sonic Adventure and stuff like that. So if that's what they're doing. But we are also seeing that there appears to be some kind of monster form thing, that we're seeing in that mural. Maybe that's what Trip would go on to become once powered up. Maybe Kicks out for Trip. Maybe Trip is blaze it for Trip. Maybe Trip is the final boss, maybe,
Why wouldn't you blaze it for Blaze?
Because tripping balls. Balls out for Trip. Okay, fine.
Perfect. And I don't think there's any. The game's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be Trip as the final boss, or it's going to be Trip as the boss that's alluded to the entire game, and then Eggman will come out at the very end to go, "No, it was me all along. Can't you see? I'm evil."
That would be a good way to kind of really turn the tables a bit, right? Is like everyone's expecting her to be a playable character, but what if they pull a chaos? And it's like, oh nope, this unassuming character it turns out to be this excruciatingly dangerous thing that you have to fight.
Could be both as well, to be fair.
Could be both.
Could be. It could, because I mean with chaos, he was only that dangerous because of the events that happened in his past. Like now he's a pretty calm dude. So
you know what I would like though for a playable character?
What's that?
Oh, Metal Sonic. Oh wait,
did you?
Yeah.
Sorry, wait, Suris, did you say Trip is a calm dude?
No.
Oh.
Chaos.
Oh, okay, my bad.
How chaos began with borderline genocide.
I'm hearing you. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Yeah. So we've got a new little overview of the fucking battle mode thing, right? I think whoever's doing the narration on that, I think is it Evan from Tales of Child? I don't know, but like whoever's directing him, don't do that to him, all right? Stop making him go theater kid.
What happened?
The narrator in the battle mode overview.
I've not seen that. I just saw Tokyo Game Show footage.
Oh, you didn't see the battle mode overview?
No, I didn't. Like
No.
Again, like I was looking at stuff while it was coming out at TGS.
Oh, yeah, like you'd know what I'm talking about with the guy going full theater kid.
I'm gonna go find that while you're talking about it.
Yeah, go ahead and listen to that. You'll know what I'm talking about immediately.
Sure.
But yeah, they are making that narrator go full on fucking Broadway with fucking narrator. Bless his heart, they are making him look silly. But I do like what I'm seeing. I like, Metal Sonic being playable in this little battle mode thing. The fact we've got races and not just fights. Nick's going to know all about this in a second. He's going to have a revelation. It's going to be brilliant. Yeah, Suris, why don't you say some stuff? Because I'm dying over here.
There's another limited edition green analog pocket. Stop it. No.
Focus, Nick. The trailer, Nick.
Trailer. All right. Hang on. All right.
Christ.
Sonic buckets. Wait. They should make a game called Sonic Buckets.
You can do this.
That's not what you're trying to go for.
He's got this.
I'm just happy.
Sonic Superstars Tennis. They really fucked up with this naming.
So on the one hand, I'm very happy that we actually have like proper multiplayer in a Sonic game now.
Yeah.
So this looks like we actually will get to do between multiplayer in the main world and multiplayer in the battle mode. Just Sonic's never focused on this very much. I'm happy.
Jesus Christ!
What I tell you? Come on, I told you. Didn't I?
Shit.
I told you.
He's clearly just going full corny. Oh my god! The art.
Look at the
Metal
twisted
Sonic
things
versus
Eggman
Metal
could
Knuckles.
be hiding.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm just happy to know that it's not just fighting and that there's actually race levels in there as well.
You can actually do the thing you're supposed to do in Sonic games.
Sure,
Race War. Hell yeah.
Sure, they're Green Hill again, but like, they didn't have to do that
fine for a
us.
secondary mode.
They didn't have to do that for us. It'll be fine.
I
for
love
the
that you have
secondary
to
mode.
track this stuff down. You cowards still aren't showing me the name under all those spray cans. Gonna find out soon enough.
Name under the spray cans?
What color they are?
What color they are? Oh, that we got confirmation, by the way, in terms of like how they're describing it in the audio version of the one of those. What was it? The video? I don't know. Anyway, they said Tails is orange. I win.
Oh yeah, no, they did. Yeah, it was in the audio description.
But Metal Tails is absolutely yellow.
It's amazing that you would say that so bravely when neither Gilly nor Wayne are here.
Yeah, good. They can't clap back with their stupid fucking responses. Then
just waste my time arguing when there's nothing to argue.
They might as well just
write.
Shout in the fucking void at this point. Like, I mean, admittedly, looking at our backdrop, Tails does look pretty yellow there. So
we have a backdrop.
Yeah, the backdrop of our Sunset City thing, when it scrolls past one of the islands, you can see Tails on it, and he does look pretty yellow. But I think that is mainly that there's probably just as much confusion behind the scenes as to what color Tails is as there is.
He's overly lit. Yeah, like he's overly lit. That's very, very yellow back there.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Boomtails is definitely yellow as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But why would you want him to be yellow? You know, make him brown. Brown tails, best tails.
I'm just watching this still.
Jesus.
So, do you think? Well, we know people are going to mod the robots into the main game, but do you think Sega will make that like an official upgrade at some point?
Hard to say.
There's a thing on there already showing downloadable content.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make a guess right now. I mean, first off, that's probably there for like the pre-order bonus shit because we know Mecha Sonic from Sonic 2 is a downloadable thing. I'm gonna make a cynical thing here, like the pros and cons. So like my monkey paw would be like Mecha Sonic Mark 2 shows up in this game.
But he's a deal.
But exactly. I think he's gonna be DLC exclusive. I think that's how they're gonna do it.
I'd buy it though.
Yeah, I'd buy the living shit out of the first 3D model for Mecha Sonic.
Mecha Sonic, my favorite.
You know what you're about.
Also, did we not see fucking the shard looking one as well in there? Oh wait, no, that was a toy, wasn't it?
That's Metal Sonic Mark III, and Shard was his coloration was inspired by
that's why I said he was the shard looking one.
Yeah, but I can't believe that's getting a figure though.
Wait, no, we fucking missed the biggest news of all. You can get
but
a
we're
plush.
Not done with the show.
You can get a plush of Dodon Pa. That's a big
Exactly.
fucking deal.
Every time I keep thinking like, all right, you guys are running out. You guys are running out of stuff, and then they're like, this feels like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Give me Metal Knuckles. Give me a toy already.
There's a lot of barrel left, you know. Give me a big old werehog plush or a chip or something, you know.
There is a big werehog plush.
Yeah, but that's not by Jax, is it?
What? No, no. Jax doesn't make the plushes.
Okay, never mind. Fuck me. Well, I want an action figure 2-pack in the Jax Pacific Wave, werehog and chip, the double pack.
Okay.
Give me it immediately.
It is a little weird that all the characters like little sidekicks don't have their sidekicks packed in though, right?
Yeah,
like big and green.
Where's my goddamn chip?
If we got a chip and werehog plush combo, or however they would do it, you know, the only excuse we could possibly have for them to go back and make those would be if we finally got Sonic Unleashed HD on Steam.
There is no chip merch. I'm just realizing this now. There's no chip, is there?
Yeah.
I would snap that shit up. I would fucking snap it up. Fucking
you and 2 other people. Yep.
You and 2 other people.
No, not 2 other people, just me. I'm the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed.
Are you the only one?
Oh, Professor Pickles action figure 1. Good question.
I'd buy it. I would buy. Let me tell you something, right? No one else would. I would buy every fucking human NPC from Sonic Unleashed if they sold them.
If you had a Professor Pickles piece of merch, it would have to have, as its like little secondary pieces that come with little extra toys, it'd have to have a properly and improperly made cucumber sandwich.
Oh yeah, so you can feed him. You know, it comes with munching action. Give me Wentos and Chow as well. You know, fucking give me those guys. Or the guy that goes. Meh!
Anyway.
Look, we're on a tangent we obviously care a lot about.
Let's talk about the last little bit of news here before we kind of get any, I don't know, last little thoughts on Frontiers before it finally launches because it's coming out this week.
Yes.
So the Amy Rose special is coming out on the 27th. I've gotten an advanced review copy from IDW, so I already have thoughts on it, which I can't share yet. But outside of that, they also announced that Fang the Knackle is getting his own comic, which I was surprised to see.
And it's already here.
What do you mean it's already here? It's out?
It's already out. It's on Twitter. Like, well, the first issue of it anyway. I put it in the back rooms.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
so-
I thought it was going to be an IDW produced just a thing to buy one.
Nah, it's like the Frontiers prologue. You know, we could live dub it, Suris, if you wanted to.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
I will
seems
quit
like a
the
fun
show
thing to
forever
do.
if you guys do that cornball garbage. I swear to God.
I think we should.
I think we
fucking
should.
Yeah. We got a big enough
Hey.
cast as it is.
Let's
All right,
take a look. Here.
Suris, you can be Robotnik.
No. Nope.
You're gonna be Fang?
Can I be Fang? I want to be Fang.
You can be Fang.
All right. You've got the first line though, remember?
Oh, are we doing it right now?
Yes.
I'm just gonna hop out right now. I'm not in for this stupid shit.
We'll call you when it's
Voices.
over.
I can't stand it. I cannot stand it when YouTubers do voices. I'm sorry, Suris. I know.
We'll call
I
you when it's
know.
over.
I know.
We'll come get
I
you.
can't stand it.
How many times are you gonna say I know when I don't know what you know?
What does he
Your
know?
fucking Shadow Died videos.
They're
They
great.
do all the voices.
They're great.
You're reading me a bedtime story. It's ridiculous. I want to go read this thing about this purple rat. I'll be right back.
All right, Suris,
Jesus.
you're up.
Are you gonna put the comics up on the screen for people to
Nah,
see?
they can get it themselves. Fucking just
Oh,
do the
come
voices.
on.
It's a podcast, man.
Come on.
No, shut up. I don't want to do that.
You're not Nick.
I don't
You're
want to
not
fucking.
Nick.
I don't want to do that. I just want to do the fucking dub. Fucking get on with it. Man.
Fine. Here's your target. North Star Island, a remote paradise said to contain incredible wonders.
Yeah, like what?
That's why I've hired you to find out. I need someone to hunt down any beasts, treasures, or people that will help me conquer the world. And that someone is Mac the Weasel.
You keep doing that. I dropped that fake name ages ago.
I love the idea of Fang just having the voice. Jet the Jerboa.
No!
Fang the Sniper.
Getting warmer.
Fang the Hunter.
There you go, big boy.
Oh, that's needlessly confusing.
Hey, when you're a wanted criminal like me, you use all sorts of tricks to cover your trail.
Whatever. I'm not paying you. I'm paying you to hunt, not talk.
You got it, Doc. Ooh.
God, why do you sound like you're coming?
This is gonna be the easiest gig ever. I'll pay you a heap to look around the tropical island. Sure, whatever you want, Egg Mook. Maybe there's some ruins or something there. I'll show him some relic, pocket out any treasure for myself, and cash out. It's perfect. It's...
He's not Fang the Weasel. He's Herb the Perp.
Hey, Doc. You don't happen to know if this island is inhabited, do you?
Frick, you're on the intercom.
Gee, I'd better hire some kind of expert hunter to scout around and find out. Oh, wait! That's you! So stop wasting time and get to work.
Oh, I'm billing you extra just for that. All right, then. Let the hunt begin.
Are you looking for a treasure named Chris?
I'm gonna DM Nick and let him know it's over.
It's all ogre now.
Did it. Now we play the waiting game.
Welcome back, Nick.
I
To
love
Sunset City.
I love this.
Welcome back, Nick.
I gotta do a quick what's in the name. I love this. I've been meaning to do one for Fang for a minute, and once again, Flynn has done this brilliant job of canonizing both names and justifying them. This makes so much sense. I love this. This is a
The
great
whole,
little
like,
comic.
I'm a criminal mastermind, so I need all these different names, actually.
Yeah, I need a bunch of aliases. I almost said aliases.
Aliases?
Is
I
it
mean, to be
Hydro
fair,
City or
they
Hydroceros?
they said in his bio
Psoriasis?
ahead of time. They said like he's gone by many names because of his wanted status. So
I
it's like,
didn't read any of the fucking bios. I got so sick of the Amy discussion, I just gave up on them. Ugh.
What a good job you do at your job, Nick.
I'm not done research for him yet. I've just been calling him Fang the Knackle. And that's Suris' fault.
Yeah.
Well, we
You're
had
welcome.
a Fang the Ego. Country
That was
from
Fang the
Southern Belle.
Herb.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I want to be Eggman next time. Do my best Whitey impression from 8 Crazy Nights.
Jesus Christ. I am happy that it shows like these people have worked together before in some capacity, but also Eggman is so self-centered and conceited, he has no fucking idea. He doesn't even bother to remember anything about his fucking people he works with.
His compadres.
If we can even call them that. But yeah. Those guys.
His bromigos. His buds.
His bromigos.
It's very charming. I did not expect. I didn't know the Fang comic was already starting out this way. I didn't know they're going to distribute like this. This is really cool. So I'm into it. I'm happy. I'm going to make a video about this stupid weasel thing.
Jaboa.
Skittle bad boobap.
Skip the button, done it.
Jet
Exactly.
Jerboa.
And I feel bad. I don't fret. I just scat.
Skibbity toilet.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So guys, let's move into our final bit of discussion for today. You guys have
leaving the show.
Oh, for God's sakes. I really hate Discord for doing this. I will leave Discord forever. This is ridiculous.
I feel like
They
I
put
feel
him
like
in
we
the
should
video
have
to be a radio DJ, and I can't handle it.
Wait. Can you give me some radio DJ speak for a second?
I can't.
Can you be like, you're listening to Sunset City on 97.1?
You both just role play together like the little weirdos you are.
You're listening to
Seriously.
Sunset City on 97.1.
Well, Pup, you ever need to do something different in the start of the show? There you go. Welcome back to Sunset City. Hello. You just play like the owl and the rooster, whatever. That's why we started. That's why we took the name anyway.
With here, our friend Suris.
damn it. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Oh, that was great.
God, I've made terrible choices in Friends.
Right,
Have you though?
What do we want to do?
This is the
again,
most
sorry?
I've felt in a long time.
This is what?
Final thoughts. Any expectations? What are you guys? How you guys feeling going into this final week before the final drop of Frontiers? Easily the most anticipated of the three updates.
I mean, this is
I'm
the week of the drop.
itching.
Drops this Friday.
It is.
I am itching for it. I'm going to be bringing my laptop with me to the card shop because as soon as we're done, as soon as I'm done with whatever we're doing earlier in the day, that's where I'm going to be. But everybody's just going to have to deal with the fact that I'm probably going to be playing the Frontiers update while I'm there. That's just what I want to do right now.
Do we know when it drops?
Not
would
exactly,
imagine-
because it could be like update 2, where it was like, oh yeah, it's out now, and then it dropped at like 4 a.m. the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if I need to be staying up late for that or if it's going by whatever they're doing in Japan or I don't know. I'm gonna do a little research there. I'm gonna see when the others dropped, if there's any consistency there. But yeah, I'm gonna play this as soon as humanly possible.
Oh yeah. The only thing that I am torn on is whether I'm going to be playing through the entire game from start to finish in my new game plus mode so that I can get like this is the experience of the game with the spin dash, with the new content at the end, or if I'm going to play through the end immediately and then go back and do new game plus.
See, this is why I prepped for it by doing a playthrough on New Game Plus and got up to the end of Chaos Island, basically.
Yeah, I'm currently just twiddling around with the stuff there, partially because I got to take notes for a Game Apologist video, but also because I've been holding off on that for a while. But I'm jumping into the ending immediately. So that's like I got.
I mean,
you
I
know,
wonder how they're going to implement this. If it's going to be like a final story kind of deal, or if it's in the game and just replaces what was there before. Like, you never know. Maybe that original ending won't be lost media. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I
curious.
I believe that the most straightforward way to go about it is going to be to just replace the final island story with the new story. I think that's probably what we're going to get. And there might be a couple of cutscenes that are kept from that original story, but for the most part, I think it's going to be the new one.
You get a quick cutscene of Izuka and Kishimoto going, "We're sorry," and then it goes into the new story.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Sorry.
It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think where they implement it is going to. I don't know. I mean, I guess that does matter because we all want to know where we have to be landing in our playthroughs before we can touch this stuff ourselves. But it will be interesting to see the overall package once this is all said and done.
I wonder if they're gonna. I wonder if they're gonna replace Island 4 as well as 5.
That's why I've brought myself over to just the end of Chaos Island, because I'm happy to do Rhea Island again. I like the
Rhea
platform
Island's
there.
a 50-minute experience, and it's a very fun one.
Yeah, I enjoy that
I
bit.
thought it was okay.
So the thing I liked about it was that I don't have a fear of heights, but like there's a feeling I get when I play Banjo-Kazooie in Click Clock Wood, where you're going up the tree and the platforms get thinner and thinner and thinner. I get an anxiety about it, and it's a very weird, very almost awful feeling, but I like it. It's the same reason I like playing like old horror games.
It
I get a
reminded
similar
me
feeling.
of Wonder Tower from Arkham City, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to set the internet on fire here. I think they should have given him fall damage.
I kind of feel the same way, because like I don't want fall damage in this game, really, but for Rhea Tower, it definitely felt like my anxiety was going through the roof the further and further up the various towers in that island that I went.
I had a little idea, because Sonic with fall damage is kind of a bit counterintuitive to the game, right? But it does mean that certain things like height are no longer scary. So I had the idea that there should be a button that gives Sonic a little parachute, and if you don't remember to open your parachute, he just goes head first on the ground and dies.
So Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but like...
But isn't that too fragile for you, Pup? Don't you want the power fantasy?
Yeah, but like I still want to be scared of heights.
Go on a roller coaster. Jump off a cliff.
You heard it here first, folks. Nick just told his co-host to jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
I didn't say do it. Just give him recommendations. Give it a thrill.
It's just if you're looking for this kind of experience, jumping off of a cliff will give you a similar experience to what you're aiming for.
Let me be clear. Like, the towers itself are fine. I don't like how underutilized Rhea Island is. And I'm also still bitter that they try to bullshit us and say it's another island when
I
you
agree
can
with
just
that.
walk over the edge
And see
it's
Kronos.
part of Kronos. It's right there.
No, I fully agree with that. I like the platforming that's there though. I mean, like,
it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
They change it up per tower. One of them's a bit more just basic 3D. One of them's a bit more rail centric. One of them's 2D. One of them has enemies on it and stuff. And I kind of like that. I mean, I wish they were all like 3D. That's my kind of biggest gripe with Frontiers is I wish the game were entirely in 3D. But like, I can accept it. I can accept it.
I think my issue with Rhea Island comes down to what I don't have with Frontiers, because I feel like everything that game can provide you in terms of proper level design is there in those towers, and it can fit in these very strict limited tower settings. That's my only real gripe with it. I mean, Rhea Island itself, again, that's the perfect analysis of my problem with Sonic Frontiers. So they have this entire land that just goes to waste. There's so many potential cool ideas there, and clearly they had good ideas that
Also,
they just didn't get around to doing.
The island itself is fun to run around, but that's the thing, is there's no reason to run around it.
There's no reason, and they have like really cool concepts that you don't really utilize. You have oxygen to go underwater. How often are you underwater? You can drown in a little river or that tiny lake on Rhea Island.
To be
That's
fair,
it.
You're only underwater long enough to recognize you shouldn't be underwater.
To be fair, I think the music notes have improved things up a bit, because there's that bit over the water where there's this weird platformy Stonehenge looking thing poking out of the water, and they've plonked one of the music notes on the very tippity top of one of those, and you actually have to do that platforming bit in order to get that music note, unless you decide to cheese it by doing a stunt or something. That's cool. But
yeah,
like,
I completely agree with you there. Yeah, I agree with you there, and that's why I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for the new collectibles in that sense, because it gives you a reason to actually do something in the islands. I don't think it's gone as far as it could potentially go, but what I needed from these updates was showing that I wanted to see where else they were going with this game before they had to cut it off.
They didn't put any Coca challenges there. That's kind of the opportunity. I mean, to be fair, you could get something more out of it by just dotting some little bosses around the place.
They just could have done a little bit more with it, and I think the design of it shows that they had more on the docket. It's just stuff I'm at this point I'm hoping to see these ideas kind of fleshed out in a sequel. So like, I don't know, like somebody, I forgot who, but like recently tweeted like what they've kind of were hoping more to see out of 3D like open world Sonic is like half pipes and stuff of that nature, like maybe even like Bomb Rush
Cyberpunk.
Thank you, Bomber. I can never remember that name. I keep wanting to call it Jet Grinder, Jet Set. Yeah, just having a bit more versatility in the environment itself. But yeah, I don't know. Like the updates are looking pretty cool, but every issue I have with Frontiers can be found with just the basic design of Rhea Island. Not to say it's bad. Just I wish the priority was a little centered around the environment itself.
How to do it? Take the map from fucking what's it the fuck called? Sunset Overdrive. Take the open world map from that, mod it into Sonic Frontiers, and you've got the best Sonic game ever made. Well,
I mean, the philosophy behind those games, like, and I actually was in my script, I use that as an example, is they utilize that environment. Like everything you do with that environment, you have to be paying attention, and you have to actively interact with it. And that's how you get the motion going in that game.
Frontiers is very much like, here are the rails and here are the springs, and they above the grounds, they're kind of divorced from the geometry. Whereas Sunset Overdrive is like, every edge, every corner of these buildings and such serves as a rail. Every power line serves as a rail. Every umbrella serves as a spring. Every balloon serves as a spring. It should be more like that. And I'm not saying you can't still have those spring designs, because I think that stuff is kind of important to the literacy of a Sonic environment. For example, like when you switch to birthday mode, I fucking lose all sense of orientation, because like suddenly a cupcake is a spring now, and I'm like, oh boy, the legibility of these levels has become very different now. But
yeah,
you can still do better than just, making everything so divorced from the overall level appearance. Even down to the fact that we've got, stone and grass environments, yet the platforming sections are made of metal plates. Like, it's part down to art style, part down to making everything look more baked into the environment, but I think it's been said a million times by now, and I think it is probably something they are probably working on, because it's no secret that Frontiers was deep into testing stages as these levels were being made. Like, it was basically a demonstration of what was done. And while I am against games being made like that, I can't deny that I had a good time.
It's the difference between, like, when you're... The metal rails and everything make a little more sense in somewhere like, Ares Island. But when you're in a more grassy plain, maybe vines, stuff like that, it's a very easy, quick graphical swap, and you can have the rails highlight a little bit as you're walking near them, and that'll give you that game legibility. Same with springs as well. Like,
it's an interesting thing as well, where like mods have taught me some things, because like there is a mod that turns all of the rails to looking like stone, and it looks good. But then there's a mod that puts like structures beneath the floating platforms and the floating rails and stuff, so they're no longer floating. They have these big beams and stuff that lead up to it. And on paper that sounds good, but with the pop-in that game has, holy shit, the pop-in becomes even more noticeable when whole entire structures are appearing in front of your very eyes.
Yeah.
So first things
I mean,
first, fix the fucking pop-in. Like,
I mean, at this point, be like I just want them to get the final update out there, and like any good ideas or any like ground levels fixes that they need to do, put in the next game.
Next game,
This is
yes,
not
fix the art design. That's the big one, I think.
Yeah. As much as I love the aesthetic of Sonic, like my top priority is and I like it is hand in hand, but would be the intent of the level, because like again it feels sporadic. It feels like they just grabbed some assets and they threw shit on top of it, versus again Sunset Overdrive, where there feels like there is an intention to the environment. Like there's attention to detail, and everything has some sort of a purpose, and the fun is being able to interact with every aspect of that environment, which I feel Sonic is a character that should be utilizing that. Like that is going to be the game changer for him versus any other character playing around in an open world.
Remember when
should be the most fun to move around just naturally.
Remember when there was a pile of fallen leaves and you couldn't run through it?
Yeah, no, you have to side loop around it.
Yeah, and that's fine, but like, man, give me some leaves I can run through. Give me some destructibles, Like,
yeah.
If you can knock down the grave markers on other islands, you should be able to knock down a pile of leaves.
Let me destroy their fucking homes. To be fair, there's one thing Rise of Lyric did in its open world that I would have loved to have seen here, where it's like development plans, where it's like if you grind up enough rings, you can go to a landmark and build it. I know that's not what you want from your Sonic game, but it did go a long way to making areas feel a little less empty.
I mean, again, it's not saying that that game's devoid of good ideas. Far from it.
But like again, like fucking Sim City Simulator is not what I think of when I think of Sonic. But yeah, if they said, "Oh yeah, Starfall Islands, you could build a school for the Coco," it's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll put my rings into that." Hell yeah.
Like some kind of, I mean, like I'm always a sucker for like building up a centralized hub. And letting it grow and evolve thanks to your contributions.
It feels like that's loosely in there with like the white rails that appear when you do like a puzzle. But it's like, what can we do more than just white rails, What if we had it so...
What can we do more than just the fast travel?
Yeah, put a little tent there or something that Sonic can camp out in and replenish certain things. Not that he needs to, because he can just side loop all his rings, but you could have it so you don't side loop all your rings and you have to go back to a little tent.
Just let him poop somewhere. Just give him a corner
toilet.
to poop.
Give him a fucking toilet. I want to see what Sonic's shit looks like. I bet it's rings.
Okay. There it is. There's the origin of rings.
Little brown gross rings.
Fantastic.
Welcome to Sunset City, everybody. The conversation gets to poop somehow.
I don't remember where I read this, and I need to track it down again, but I saw a comment somewhere, and I think it was in Chalmix's recent video about ring lore. And I appreciate him doing that, because there has been something I've been kind of hovering around for a while, and you guys will see that in a video next month. But somebody in the comments mentioned, and I thought they were just referencing B theory, but I guess there are some notes somewhere, and I'm gonna go track this down somewhere, mentioning the potential of bees.
Well.
But again, I don't know if there's any legitimacy to it, or if it's just one of our fans being a jackass.
I just thought of another thing. It could be build a fishing spot, and that's how you unlock the big fishing. It could be
saves Sonic poop theory.
It could be things like build a clothing store, a clothing retailer on Kronos Island where a big Coco works, and then you can get your cosmetics from there. Dude, there you go. Hire this man. Me, hire me.
Hire this pup.
I'd say that makes sense in a different setting. Let's build on that idea a little bit. What if one of the environments in the next game is a city-style level,
Yes, definitely, please.
and
do
you
it.
can naturally just go over to like the Chow Black Market, and that's where you buy your shit.
We so needed a city island, and
You
I feel
mean-
like the city in the cyberspace was put in there just for that. But like, fucking, we need an open zone city.
A fun, colorful city that really could like pop out
Give me
only the way Sonic could
Studiopolis.
pop out.
Open zone Studiopolis.
I would take any of the Metropolis stuff from the early 3D games. I would take Studiopolis in the 3D world. Like really, like yeah, get that or explore the background. Like let's see the rest of the city that Casino Night takes place in.
Yeah, but
That'd
like
be sick.
that's the thing is as well is my fear is it's like okay, Sega be like here's a casino island. No, don't give me a casino. Give me a city and a casino in the city. Because the problem you've got with the Frontiers maps is you run to one end of the map, you got grass and graves. Run to the other end of the map, you got grass and graves. Show me where these fuckers poop. You know?
I want to know what porn they got off to. Give us some culture.
Well, you know that the ancients had no trouble getting wet. That's for sure.
You just want to see chaos porn. with
Zingo.
tentacles.
I want to see them fuck.
Oh, Niva. Got too much of that.
Probably just what a waterfall is, you know? Like, the waterfall is just the remaining ancients fucking.
Yeah, boy. There you go. That'd be a fun way. Like they just evolved in the water. That makes the most sense to me.
Again, this is why
Makes more
I
sense than
like.
Chow.
This is why I like being able to buy food in the hub world. Just you learn a little about it, you know? It matters.
Don't get me wrong. Like there's pros and cons to all that stuff, and you can argue all the live long day about how useful any of it is. But I do love that little bit of world building. I like being
that
able
you
to
didn't
like
have to
if
do
you're
any
gonna
of
have a
it.
hub. Yeah, exactly. Like if
Like,
you're
you
gonna be in a hub, like get some. If you want to hang out there, give me a reason to hang out. Give me stuff to
There's-
explore and discover.
Yeah, like in the fucking Shamar level, there's this old lady that's like, "Oh, I've lost my fortune teller supplies. Will you help me find them?" And then you have to do a series of like speed challenges, a series of werewolf challenges. Eventually, she gets her stuff back, and then you can use her. Let me try that again. You can use her fortune telling skills. Like you answer a little quiz, and she's like, you know, what kind of person are you? And at the end, she berates you. It's brilliant. But then in the Eggman Land hub, there's an egg.
I'm learning a little bit too much about Pup right now.
Huh?
I'm learning a little bit too much about Pup right now.
At the end of the game, when you get the Eggman Land hub world, there's one of the egg fighter things, and he's just like, I haven't been designated yet. Can you tell me like who my enemy is and stuff? And you can decide whether he goes bad or whether he's a good boy. And it's all optional, but having that stuff there for someone that wants to go to greater lengths to explore these little worlds is such a good feature, and I really hope that we can get some of that unleashed hub world philosophy into the open zone.
Where there's just a whole lot of you can do dicking around if you want to, and the dicking around is it adds to the it adds to the lore of the game. The
just let me
culture,
shit and piss and fart about, you know, like fucking. And besides, not every mission has to. That's another thing about Frontiers quite interesting is you've got the one NPC per island. You know, you've got Amy for Kronos and stuff like that. It wouldn't be too confusing to have more than one character in each place, like because you've got a notification at the top right of the screen that tells you who to talk to. So like, give me some of that. You know, give me some of that good stuff.
And there you go.
Go a little further, deeper, harder,
a little harder.
faster.
So what do you guys want out of this final update? What is going to make you like, because we have the expectations set for what this game is, for good and for bad. Like we all have our opinions all set pretty consistently. Like, and I still have more that I want to learn and discover, and I'm really appreciating about these updates. But I want to know, like, for this final update coming out here, what do you guys need to walk away from it feeling satisfied? Or are you already being like, hey, I'm happy with what I got, whatever else we get, I'm good?
I'm happy enough with what we got, but like it is one of those things where I still find the finale of Frontiers to be contentious. And I don't need all the different playable characters. All I really need is a better finale with a bit more to do on Oranos Island. You know, give me a little Titan encounter, sans supersonic like we had on the other ones. Give me some, you know, different activities to do beside collecting tokens. But most importantly, Give me a decent send-off for the Titan fights and something better than an Ikaruga fight for the end. That's all I truly, truly need. That's, like, it. But the fact we're getting additional characters is absolutely a bonus for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they factor in. And I am hoping that we can get a bit more fleshing out of this story, you know, like fill in some of those blanks. But I've basically given off what I need to be satisfied.
How about you, sirs?
I would like a true supersonic fight for the end, not just here's the supersonic fight that's the build-up for the final fight. I don't need pups punching the moon thing, but I mean that.
What else are you supposed to do against the end?
I know, right? But I'd also, I'm not gonna lie, I want there to be something. I don't necessarily need it to be a Titan encounter as much as I just want there to be some presence for Supreme, because the way the game is right now, you just kind of get to the island and then you're told that there's another Titan you need to deal with, and then he just pops in out of nowhere at the end. And it just feels very
scary.
It feels weird. I don't like when I did the fight with Giganto, it felt like I needed to do that fight. It was a rematch. The fight with Wyvern felt like I needed to do that. It was a chase as opposed to being chased.
Well, that's what I was saying, is there's no non-supersonic encounter with Supreme like there is with the other Titans.
Like so I guess I'm on the same page as you there. I need something that gives me a reason to care about this other than, but the island wants me to get rid of this big scary thing that's going to do an apocalypse. I'm told this thing is big and scary. I see the flashbacks, but I want it to, pummel Sonic real quick. I really do think, though, my biggest thing, I want all of the playable characters to be usable in the overworld. I want to be able to go through New Game Plus. Fuck how it plays in the story. I want to be able to go through New Game Plus as Knuckles or as Tails or as Amy, with whatever powers we get for them for this final update. I don't want to just have basically cyberspace levels that are done with those characters that are one and dones. I want to play those characters, and again, not just on the final island. I want to be able to play through the game with them as my reward for beating the game in New Game Plus.
That's interesting. Do you guys know about what the reward is actually for, like, beating everything extreme mode?
Yeah,
no.
Crown.
Yeah, you get the crown. Fucking Bikuri Box, the fucking god that he is, said the final ultimate reward should have been the sword from Sonic and the Black Knight, because you could factor it into combat, and that asset already exists in the game because he's on one of the rare Coco. And I was like, oh my god, that's a brilliant reward. I'd love that. And I don't even give a fuck about Sonic and the Black Knight, but it's like, yeah.
I think that would be actually like a brilliant way to do a sequel. I don't know if I'd really want them to mess with it now, but like if you ever wanted to bring the sword back, like I think the combat, I do think the combat's a bit janky. I like the general idea of it though, and I think if you wanted to build on that, I do think that opens up a lot of avenues for Sonic that wasn't originally available. Like we talked about before, like how cool character battles can be now.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
like a fight with Shadow would be really sick now.
We were also
and like having Caliber would be kind of cool in another way.
We were also mentioning how like the sliders could be built into like shoes and stuff for specific purposes. You could even do it so rather than have this silly skill tree thing, a combat upgrade could be here's Caliburn, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine I'm just gonna throw a random thing out there because it's just made me think about it. Imagine for a moment a skill tree for Sonic that made you go down either fighting as Sonic normally with all of his spin dash powers, or you had the ability to fight with Caliburn, or you had the ability to fight with your Werehog powers. Like all of the different ways that Sonic has engaged in close quarters combat are the actual sides of the skill tree you can pick and choose.
Well, I feel like Werehog style combat should be reserved for Knuckles.
Yeah,
maxed out Werehog.
I feel like the really powerful stuff should. I don't know. I'm kind of at this point where I would like to see some of these other aspects just kind of parsed off to different characters at this point. I want Sonic to just be the speedy dude that he is. like
That's
the
fair.
not the puncher thing. But wouldn't it be cool though if a skin in that same respect was a werehog?
Yeah, I would love
Just
that.
acknowledge its existence that
If
way.
if they gave us a werehog skin, that would make me really happy. Like, the ultimate thing I want is a movie Sonic skin. But, like, failing that, werehogs... I mean, there's a mod for it, at least, so I've still got that if I want it. But I want Sega to do it.
No, I get it. Absolutely. You want that official kind of confirmation with all that stuff. You want to professionally put that together.
I can't jump on a review and be like, this game's great, let's play the werehog, when it doesn't. It's just the modder that did.
Yeah.
But I will always thank those modders for their brilliant additions. But what are you Owen about?
My video just got approved, so I'll talk about that once we wrap the show up.
Well, what about yours?
Excellent.
What do you want, Nick?
So what I want versus expectations, I'm trying to keep them in line, because I mean, again, I'm ultimately, while I have said it 1,000 times, I do think a lot of these updates needed to be free, like just as save face for this game. And like, it's been very clear to anybody, this was not a finished product. It's amazing it came out as fun as it did, despite what it is. But even that said, this final update, like, they're really hyping it up. Like, they made a trailer for it, and they're really going hard, and like, it really feels like they're going hard on all aspects of it in ways that matter to me. Like, I need these characters to stand out. Like, I will be disappointed if they're not in the open zone, but if they have something that makes me go, oh wow, I would love to play a full game or campaign with this, I'd like to see how they grow in the future. That's what I need from the characters. Like, if they're just reskins of Boo Sonic, I'm not going to care. Like, that's not why anybody wants them back. We don't just want to play Sonic again. In that case, just give us skins. So I need to see something there that makes me say, oh, hell yeah, I want to see this in another game. I want to see this expanded.
So you need Ghost as an NPC, because that would make me go, oh, hell yeah.
They ain't kidding. They ain't kidding.
I fucking love Ghost.
You're on
Cricket,
board.
I can give or take.
For as much as they played up the story, I really think they needed to spend a little bit more time wrapping things up. Pup, you've been talking to me about it in terms of like your issues with Archie Sonic, because you've been starting with Flynn's run, and you've been noticing like a trend of like a jarring, quick rush together endings. Part of that is due to editorial and things of that nature, and I think that might be the case here again. Like, it's clear that they kind of just wrap things up super quick. So I need them. I'd like to give the characters and lore a little more time to breathe. I need some more clarification. Like, if they're not going to go forward in the next game talking more about the Emerald origins, then you need to tell me what's going on with the Master Emerald. I need to know what the hell's going on there. Or like just a little bit more about the ancients and their relationship to the Chaos Emerald. Like, there wasn't enough there as far as I was concerned.
You know what would be interesting? You know how in the Knuckles short, because you mentioned the Master Emerald, you know how in the Knuckles short, Knuckles finds a piece of Ancient's tech and it teleports him to the island, and that's where he gets trapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that Flynn has noted, a challenge where Knuckles is concerned, is always trying to figure out how do you justify him physically leaving the island and going and doing his own thing with the rest of the Sonic crew. There's always a challenge in justifying him being able to abandon the island for prolonged periods of time.
Offer him some grapes.
No, I think I know where you're going with this, Suris. I think I know where you're going.
What if he found that piece of tech that allows him to teleport back and forth? This gives him a greater degree of agency and flexibility with defending his island. He can now, at a moment's notice, click a button, teleport back to the island, protect the Master Emerald, but still help Sonic and his friends with what they're doing. We have that thing here now. We have a piece of tech that allows him to do this. I wonder if they're going to keep that for going forward so that he has that ability.
I was thinking about this in a different aspect, but I didn't think about that. I think that's a really good idea. Something I thought they might have been doing in terms of not just showing that he justifying forces in his role there. Stupid. But what I think they were also, what they could have been doing there while he's talking about like like, oh, I could utilize this on my island and stuff like that. I'm like, well, something that I had a big problem with. I didn't think they did enough in terms of like, I thought they could have done a lot in terms of like, here's Sky Sanctuary, or like we saw hints of the ancients, because they say it flat out during Knuckles' run. Like, oh wow, these look like ruins on the island and stuff like that. Like, what if he better utilized those same ruins on his island, and suddenly he's got like defenses that he didn't have before? But the teleportation thing would also be really cool, because they did, that is old tech from the old games, right? Like him getting transport and stuff, and they do establish a different version of that here in this game.
I tell you
And we
what,
do know like at least a shrine exists, so why not? Yeah, what if they exist all around the world?
I tell you what, like, I think if we want to learn more about the Emerald, I don't think we're done with Frontiers anyways, because, I mean, put it this way, we're following up with Sonic Superstars, a game that we are learning new things about the Emeralds for, whether it be related to Trip, or be it just the different abilities they have. Like, that mural clearly means something. So, I get the feeling that we're not done learning more about these Emeralds, possibly their history yet. So,
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah.
maybe, you know, Sonic 3D Blast 2 comes out, and then we'll learn more about those emeralds, you know? Like,
I would play that. I would be bored, but I would play it.
I can't believe how many times you've completed Sonic 3D Blast, yet you haven't completed
Dude, there's just this weird...
Allure.
Well, I mean, like, I'm doing it for... Well, I don't know. This is not even a lure. It's a definite nostalgic comfort from when I first got my Sega Saturn, for sure. Even though I've recognized back then, and I still recognize now, like, this is not that great. This is not a very fun game. But
It's so boring. But
also, like, I'm doing it for a video, too, to be fair.
and about when can we expect every version of Sonic Unleashed? Including the mobile one.
Well, I know it's the mobile one. Like, that is already in the... Like, I've got that planned. Like, that was always going to be on the docket.
And
Yeah, I like doing every versions of games and stuff like that. Now other YouTubers are doing that to better success. I'm bitter about it. I love it though. But yeah, like I was always going to do every version of Sonic Unleashed.
okay,
But we're going to start with every version of 3D Blast, because there's a lot of fun stuff to talk there. Well, while we're promoting our own stuff, should we just move on to the super chats?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, me first. So first up, we got Sonic Fan 1661 with $2. Nick has a strong 2 minutes into the show.
Bane John's having a strong.
R. Paul Jamal with $2. Thank you. Happy B Theory, guys. Milk Bro Forever. Wallace. Winky. Thumbs up. Thanks, Jamal.
Next one we have here is from Relaxed Hoodie for $9.99. Thank you very much. Evan Stanley's art is awesome. Go look at issue 50 through 54 when Surge and Sonic tussle. Those blur images and emotions just hit the soul. Very great artist, and Sonic fans being them.
I agree with.
It drives me crazy, dude. It drives me absolutely
out.
crazy. Well, I think we were probably speaking about one problem. Well, not even know about problematic. Just an idiot with dumb takes. It's whatever. But yeah, like, I don't know. I say it every week at this point. Kind of just want to smack the unappreciative dorks we have out there. It's ridiculous, especially as like growing up with the garbage art that I've had to endure in Sonic comics. It's just like the work in IDW. Like, whatever other faults you have with it, I do feel the art is just immaculate for the most part.
It is interesting. Anyway. Again, I feel like Sonic is really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
I think for the most part, people appreciate it, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I think more. So, Sonic Fan 1661 with $2. Was Fang's alignment ever confirmed anywhere? We know he's part of Eggman's crew. That much, but we don't.
He's a hired mercenary. Yeah,
we don't know what his like overall opinion. So far, he seems pretty at odds with Eggman. But
it's all just worked for him.
Yeah,
I think he's just a great character. I don't think he's not trying to be a hero or a villain. He's just trying to do a job he's good at. so it doesn't really give a crap as long as he gets paid. Like that's
Dead center on the alignment chart.
No, not dead center. Like obviously, like very morally like loosey goosey, just in terms of like doesn't mind getting his hands dirty for his job. So yeah, like leans more towards being a criminal than not. Like that's they established that in those wanted posters, right? But like in terms of alignment between Sonic or Eggman, he doesn't care. Like he would work for Sonic if Sonic paid him, you know?
If Sonic ever had money to do that.
Yeah, exactly. If any of them had money, but money doesn't exist, and now apparently rings don't exist. I hate everything. Anyway.
You're up, Nick.
As it is.
All right, so Sonic fan 1661 $2. Dang, Nick just rage quit over a purple red. I don't know. Is it a rage quit? I guess it's kind of a rage quit, right?
What was the rage quit? You rage quit in the rehearsal?
It was when we did the voiceovers.
I didn't want to do a voiceover. I wanted to read it on my own terms, so I hopped out. I don't like corny ass voices.
Suris.
Sonic fan 1661. Thank you for the $2. Again, don't let Fang near Amy or Cream with that voice.
What did you boys do?
I gave Fang the voice of a Southern Belle Eagle, but I think a lot of people thought it sounded like Herbert from Family Guy.
It was Herb the Perb.
It was not intentionally Herbert. It was meant to be a Southern Belle Eagle.
It started out as closer to what you were saying. By the time you got to page 2, you were in full Herb mode.
Fair enough. Okay, next up is the Evil Dalek with $1.99 pounds. But just put the damn pictures on again. Hey, why don't you not be so specific? All Daleks are evil, so you're not fucking special, okay? But thank you for your money.
You would make a good Dalek.
Oh. You know, they're doing Doctor Who Magic the Gathering stuff.
Yep,
they're doing Jurassic Park Magic the Gathering, which is much better.
They're really trying to get us all in.
I just threw the Indomitable Rex at you, Nick, in the back rooms.
Well,
Indominus Rex. But yeah,
I'm sure Dustin will get that for me as a present because he likes to get me stuff that's related to my interests, but he knows I'll never touch, like board games with Ninja Turtles and Sonic. All right. So have we ever figured out how to say this name, Nate Sabes, or is it Nate Sabes? Nate
Sabes. Up to impersonate. Fuck it.
Impersonation.
Well, anyway, thank you for the $5. Tails color is actually tangerine. By the way, what are your boys' thoughts on Metal Amy's design? I think it's adorable, but very underwhelming. # Nick Milk Bros Forever. I will talk about it in a video. Tangerine is just a shade of orange. It's like saying lime is not green. What are you talking about?
Lime is yellow.
Anyway. What?
Lime is a shade of yellow.
Lime green?
Lime yellow?
What?
I like shit in him.
So, you're being trolled.
Little Suris.
I gotta get a face. I gotta get we gotta make those Tails as trolled, but for all of our avatars.
I've already got one. So.
Attaboy.
Stardust Chaos, thank you for the $5. Metal Sonic.
Did you guys not give your thoughts on Metal Amy?
I mean, I just, as far as I'm concerned, that's not necessarily how canonically Metal Amy would look necessarily, but I mean, I don't really care. I think it looks fine.
I think it's okay. I preferred the idea of their characters Eggman just dismisses, so he doesn't give them full metal forms, and that's how we got things like Tails doll.
Tails is no longer allowed to complain about not getting a cool.
Yeah.
So we have.
I think everyone is not giving enough credit to that design. I will talk about it next month. Anyway,
I think it looks fine. I don't have anything to say. I think it looks how a Metal Amy would look.
Thankfully, I do, and that's why I'm gonna make a video.
So,
you aren't kidding.
Let's see. Sends $2. Do me a favor, pup. Give us one more pingus. You got it. Coming right up. Pingus.
All right, Oz Jam, $2. Thank you. Cheap corny flavored gamer juice super chat. You know there's corn flavored soda.
Yeah, I
remember
know.
We
when
saw that,
said-
right? Yeah, we all saw that, right? When we were
I
in
didn't
Georgia
see-
together.
I didn't see that.
I thought you did because you should have all seen it because I took you guys to Rocket Fizz.
Yeah, dude.
You did not take me to Rocket Fizz.
Yeah, I took you, Wayne, and Nick all to Rocket Fizz.
Rocket,
Yeah, dude, you were there for that trip.
Rocket Fizz.
You remember
Yes.
when we saw the big KFC, like the big chicken KFC?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
we went
yeah.
to the candy store.
That was Rocket Fizz.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a
Is
bunch
that-
of those weird flavored sodas.
Was that the candy store where you got me those honey things because you know I had a bad throat?
Yes.
That was really caring of you. And it helped.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
I think that's where we saw the corn
He
soda.
really
though.
doesn't do well with affection, does he? But
He's like, and he's giving me more money than any other patron on my channel. You need to stop giving me so much money.
fucking Volt.
No.
You're
But,
a very sweet boy.
yeah, no, I did not see the corn stuff, but what I do know is I did buy roast chicken flavored soda from a store near, I think it was Trader Joe's, and it was fucking disgusting. I didn't like it at all.
Oh yeah, no, you must. Yeah, you were here for around Thanksgiving time, which means Jones Soda was releasing their gross Thanksgiving garbage.
Thanksgiving. That was a fun day.
Have any of you had Jones Soda candy?
No,
didn't
but I
know
did
that
have a
existed.
chicken flavored chocolate bar when Nick's pussy was.
That sounds awful. Genuinely
Flavored
awful.
chocolate ball.
It was at
What was-
Bravo Land. We got the chicken flavored chocolate.
Oh yeah. No, like I was like deliriously tired and I had to sleep in the car.
And you had medical problems.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a rough drive. Anyway.
Yeah, you were asleep for 4 hours, and I was just having a boogie of a time at Bravo Land.
Sonic Fan 1661. Thank you for the $2. Psst. Y'all see the tweet? And what insane all this Yatney? I cannot. I cannot.
What
I'm not
tweet
good at
are
that.
we talking about here?
I don't know what tweet we're talking about.
What tweet? I
See
only
the
know of posts.
What It's where is it? What are we talking about? Am I
Well,
going crazy?
For now, we because Whale Fox Johnson sends $4 $99. What an awesome name, though. Whale Fox Johnson. That's awesome. Okay, what's your opinion on IDW's writing lately? It feels like no OC connection or emotional beats last throughout the run, different from the other run. Any thoughts, Nick? I haven't read the latest ones.
Check out the video that I'm going to drop as soon as this podcast is over. I kind of touch on it a little bit here. But long and short of it, the lull after the metal virus is starting to be felt pretty hard at this point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. Right, well, we have to work with what we got here, then. Oh, check our mentions. Okay. Yeah, mention me.
Your mentions post.
I'm
Is
not
it
seeing anything.
like Sunset?
No,
You talking about yours or
May,
Sunset?
well, I'm looking at mine right now, but I can check Sunset. Ah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was the animated Yuikawa thing from the Sonic 10th anniversary, which gave us our only look at Yuikawa Sonic animated.
Interesting.
So that's him in motion doing a little winky face. I can put a link to it in the.
Yeah, please.
Might as well, right?
No.
Okay.
Nah, I'm on it. Back room is. And there you go.
All right.
All right. Oh, man, I'm hungry.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll go to
That's actually
Hankrin
really
for
nice.
a quarter pounder with cheese. All right.
All right, guys. What's everyone up to these days? Pup?
I've just recently done a video ranking all of the Sonic short films. I think there's about 14 on the list, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's up and available for you guys to watch now, so you can check that out. And aside from that, I am working on a little video about why I have complete confidence in Sonic Superstars. So you can check that out too.
Excellent.
Very nice. Suris, what are you up to?
I am getting everything together for the Magic the Gathering podcast that I'm going to be doing. Still haven't quite figured out which
Your
day
cool
that's
new
going to be on.
friends.
You've met them. Y'all were here. They went to the Sonic thing. Anyway.
Tisk, I'm your only friend.
Only pup.
Only pups.
Jesus but a lot of assets are getting put together for that right now because there's some extra stuff that needs to be done to make that show work. We're still trying to figure out the logistics of.
Wait, you're commissioning people for assets?
Yeah.
You're cool new artist, huh? Okay, I see how it is.
Pup, you're in my artist Discord.
Tisk. You should know I don't have
God.
Discord notifications switched on.
It's more like just looking at the list of. There's like
Can you finish up your promo? For God's sakes.
Yes, sir.
It's a pup problem, not a me problem,
Yes,
and you
sir.
know that, Nick.
Tisk. What are you
Take
promoting?
control. Grab the leash.
Just drag him on the concrete. But that's it.
Excellent. As for me, recently reviewed the 900th Sonic adventure. IDW recently published that.
I haven't even made a third one yet. What are you talking about?
Anyway, so that video is going to be going live in just a few minutes here once I finish up the back end stuff. And again, I'm sorry. I know raid is a thing, but they paid me and I need to get paid. Outside of that, later this week, I will probably be talking about Fang, and I will be I have a Sonic console video. I just need to grab some more footage for it, but like the script and all that stuff is done and recorded and edited and up for patrons to check out. And then next month, we're going to talk about whatever Super Sonic 2's name ends up being, and I'm going to do a Bottoberfest.
Do we want to do
because I don't want to wait till March.
Some little bits
About what?
About what Super Sonic 2's name will be.
Sure.
I'm going to hedge a bet that he's going to be called Cybersonic.
I think they're going to add a new adjective to Supersonic. Like I don't know.
Duper Sonic.
Like if they put cyber in there, I think it'll be like
Cyber
Supersonic. Yeah, something like that.
That has not got a ring to it, but yeah.
I'm just gonna call those Supersonic 1, 2, and 3.
That's really you're betting that's the likely name?
No, it's a
joke. He's doing a joke.
Yep.
I hate you.
Shut up, Cricket. All right, with that, I think we should go.
All right. Yeah. Tisk.
You gotta end it on a pingus.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
It's a skeleton of Pingus.
Penis!